happy finals week. I hope you guys are all killing your finals. Today, will be presenting to you our social media analysis. The specific media we decided to base our presentation on is an American sitcom called Blackish by myself, Osiris Zamora, and my partner, Casey Chang. This is our table of contents for today. We'll be talking about our summary, thesis, our two main arguments that correlate with our thesis, and then our conclusion and some references. For our summary, Blackish is about an African American family based on the suburbs of Los Angeles. The mother, Rainbow, but goes by Bo, who is a successful doctor who is depicted as kind-hearted, tolerant, and has a strong sense of perseverance. Andre, the father, is probably the most socially conservative character of the family. However, as he continues to navigate through life surrounding his children and work, his views become more accepting, regardless of his general paranoia. They have 4 children named Zoe, Junior, Jack, and Diane. Andre's parents, Pops and Grandma Ruby, they play also important roles that ties to the show together, showing different generational perspectives. The show within the episode that we decided to analyze in the show in season 6, episode 3, named Feminism. So for our thesis, Blackish portrays a variety of good examples of what intersectionality is, such as modern social and individual issues that are being shown in a comedic relief. They all fall under the category of invisible relations and how they shape inequality, not identity. And I have some images here to show you. So, Bo's racial discrimination. So, the Johnson family embarks on modern feminist issues, beginning with Bo sharing her experience of active protest with her friend Abby, and then inviting her daughter Diane, who is the youngest of the family, to join in their next movement. Upon both Diane and Bo arriving to the feminist group, hosted in one of the members' houses, they soon discover that the group is in fact not all inclusive. One of the members commented, "We are living through the worst thing to ever happen to women in this country." Bowes immediately refutes this statement by contrasting drastically different suffrage modern political climate imposes often to slavery in the past. Clearly, this was not the worst thing since in women's history. Further in the episode, viewers are introduced to the exploration of intersectional feminism. Bo's mother-in-law, Ruby, serves as generational difference, while her feminist groups, which consist of only white women, represent the racial aspect, reinforcing that modern feminism is far from a one-size-fits-all concept. For Bo, it was apparent that there was a huge hole that was being neglected in this group, and that the topic of women of color was being misrepresented in equality for women. Later on this episode, after multiple confrontations regarding white feminism, Abby pulled Bo aside to inform her that her friends seem to be taking over and all topics lead to race when it's supposed to be about women. Abby's comment is perhaps a model portrayal of how intersectionality and feminism is often neglected and overridden in excuse for achieving a greater good. Abby's suggestions eventually lead to an unspoken ultimatum that forces Bo to choose between being a woman and being black, which Bo recognizes and leaves the group. When Abby was confronted with the apparent privilege she and the rest of the group members hold over women of color, she began to get uncomfortable, in turn shifting blame on Bo and her other friends that are women of color for invoking the topic of unfair privilege. White women had long been the priority of any large-scale feminist movement in the past, whereas colored women are underrepresented and seen in this specific episode. So for Andre is the husband/father of the family, which I really like this episode because of this. Because this episode also depicts feminism feminists from perspectives of a man, which includes the roles of Junior, of course, the father Andre, Jack, and Grandpa Pops. Andre, his dialogue with his other white coworkers raises the topic of embedded toxic masculinity following double standards in modern society. Although Andre was arrogantly confident about his knowledge and awareness of feminism, he was contradicted by his white coworkers through a series of questions. When asked, "Would you ever let a woman pay for you on a date? Or would you ever let a woman drive around?" Andre instantly answered, and I quote, "Hell no," without a second thought. Upon reflecting the questions, it became obvious that Andre's embedded toxic masculinity and the existing double standard is problematic. It is interesting to note that within Andre's work setting, which is successful advertising cooperation that is dominantly occupied by white males, the given political and social expectation feels the need for Andre to take on traditional masculine roles within his family, which offers an explanation of their attitude towards behaviors and its subject norm is skewed due to their environment and beliefs. On the positive note, Andre is self-aware of this bias that he has, and not only admits to it, but wishes to change his outdated perspective with the help of his two sons, Junior and Jack, and take his dad, for a ride along as well. The three embark on a journey to a restaurant where Andre was skeptical of his son's approach to alter his perspective of feminism. At one point, Andre thought it was appropriate to reply to a waitress, "Can I get an iced tea and a smile?" When a waitress asked if there was anything else she could get them, Junior and Jack's immediate disapproval symbolizes the differences in awareness of double standards between the two generations. They asked Andre whether or not he would ask a male waiter to smile more in a restaurant. Eventually, Andre came to realize his blind spots through making a comparison to how men treat feminism and how white people treat racism. He came to the conclusion that it is indeed frustrating for one side to constantly have to educate and tolerate the more ignorant side, especially when the ignorant side begins to express disregard whenever the conversation gets uncomfortable. Both Andre and Bo were in situations that forced him to acknowledge the embedded stereotyping and racism. So, for our conclusion, the episode Feminism from Season 6 of Blackish presented different generational perspectives on feminism, from the oldest generation who are adamant about their traditional beliefs to the millennials who discovered their aging beliefs no longer fits within modern societal advocacy to the youngest generation, Z, who took the role as teachers and guided their parents to actualizing their blind spots and identities. Both experiences signifies the importance of holding on to one's intersectional identity and breaking away from environments that forces one to give up a part of their identities. And Andre's experience is representative towards gradual change and is proof that change does not happen immediately. And it begins with admitting to one's blind spot. And any closing thoughts for myself is I would say people like Andre are very common in this given day and age, as like the modern society is often changing constantly. So I think if you applying gradual change to your values, no matter how you're raised, that way you think about everyone's well-being instead of just your own, is a really big move towards helping everyone in the society in general. And I learned that not only from this project but from this class. And yeah, that is my presentation of me and Casey's. I could have done this without her. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your finals week. And this is our references, just if you guys want to take a look at it. Thank you.